Iron Man 3 is a 2013 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Iron Man. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and the seventh film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film was directed by Shane Black from a screenplay he co-wrote with Drew Pearce, and stars Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark Iron Man alongside Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Guy Pearce, Rebecca Hall-Shastak, James Badge, Dale William, Sadler, Miguel Ferrer, Jon Favreau, and Ben Kingsley. In the film, Stark grapples with the consequences of the events of the Avengers during a national terrorism campaign in the United States led by the mysterious Mandarin. At a New Year's Eve party in 1999, Tony Stark meets scientist Maya Hansen, the inventor of Extremis, an experimental regenerative treatment that allows recovery from crippling injuries. Disabled scientist Aldrich Killian offers them a place in his company Advanced Idea Mechanics. Stark rejects him. 13 years later, Stark is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and has frequent panic attacks due to his experiences during the alien invasion of New York. He has built dozens of new Iron Man suits to cope with his insomnia, creating friction with his girlfriend Pepper Potts. Meanwhile, a string of bombings is claimed by a terrorist known as the Mandarin. Stark security chief Happy Hogan is badly injured in one such attack and is put into a coma, prompting Stark to issue a televised threat to the Mandarin, revealing his home address in the process. The Mandarin sends gunship helicopters to destroy Stark's home. Hansen, who came to warn Stark, survives the attack with Potts. Stark escapes in an experimental new Iron Man suit, which his artificial intelligence, JARVs, pilots to rural Tennessee. Following a flight plan from Stark's investigation into the Mandarin, Stark's new armor is not fully functional and lacks sufficient power to return to Malibu, leading the world to believe that he died. With the help of Harley Keener, a local boy, Stark investigates the remains of a local explosion bearing the hallmarks of a Mandarin attack. Although it occurred years before any known attack by the terrorist, he discovers the bombings were triggered by soldiers subjected to Extremis, whose bodies explosively rejected the treatment, and were falsely attributed by AIM as a terrorist plot to cover up Extremis' flaws. Stark witnesses Extremis firsthand when Mandarin agents Savin and Brandt attack him. Stark kills Brandt and incapacitates Savin. Meanwhile, Killian resurfaces and kidnaps Potts with assistance from Hansen. American intelligence agencies continue to search for the Mandarin, with James Rhodes, the former War Machine, now rebranded as the Iron Patriot, lured into a trap to steal his armor. Tracing the Mandarin to Miami, Stark infiltrates his headquarters using improvised weapons. Inside, he discovers the Mandarin is an English actor named Trevor Slattery, who is oblivious to the actions carried out in his image. Killian then captures Stark. He reveals he has subjected Potts to Extremis in the hopes Stark will help fix Extremis' flaws while trying to save her. When Hansen betrays Killian by threatening to jeopardize his operations, Killian kills her. Stark escapes and reunites with Rhodes, discovering that Killian intends to attack President Ellis aboard Air Force One, using the Iron Patriot armor controlled by Savin. Stark kills Savin, saving the passengers and crew, but cannot stop Killian from abducting Ellis. At an impounded, damaged oil tanker, Killian intends to kill Ellis on live television. The vice president would then become a puppet leader, following Killian's orders, in exchange for Extremis curing his young daughter's disability. Stark and Rhodes infiltrate the platform, aided by the Iron Man suits, remotely controlled by JARVIS. Rhodes secures the president and takes him to safety, while Stark discovers Potts has survived the Extremis procedure. Before he can save her, a rig collapses around them, and she falls to the platform to her apparent death. Stark fights Killian, but finds himself cornered. Killian, who appropriated Hansen's Extremis research as a cure for his disability, and expanded the program to include injured war veterans, reveals he is the real Mandarin behind Slattery's cover. Potts, whose Extremis powers allowed her to survive the fall, kills Killian to save Stark. As a gesture of his devotion to Potts, Stark orders JARVIS to destroy all the Iron Man suits. The Vice President and Slattery are arrested, and Happy awakens from his coma. With Stark's help, Potts's Extremis effects are stabilized. Stark promises to scale back his life as Iron Man, undergoing surgery to remove the shrapnel near his heart and throwing his obsolete chest arc reactor into the sea. He muses that, even without the technology, he will always be Iron Man. After the release of Iron Man 2 in May 2010, director Jon Favreau chose not to return for a third film. Black was hired to write and direct the sequel in February 2011. Working with Pierce to make the script more character-centric, focus on thriller elements, and use concepts from Warren Ellis's Extremis comic book story arc, the film's supporting cast, including Kingsley, Pierce, and Hall, were brought on throughout April and May 2012. Filming took place from May 23 to December 17, 2012, primarily at Screen Gems Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina. Additional filming took place around North Carolina, as well as in Florida, Los Angeles, and China. An extended version of the film specifically for Chinese audiences was created. 17 companies provided the film's visual effects. Iron Man 3 premiered at the Grand Rex in Paris on April 14, 2013, and was released in the United States on May 3rd. As the first film in Phase 2 of the MCU, it received positive reviews from critics, with praise for its action sequences, Black's direction, and Downey's performance. Though there was criticism for the portrayal of the Mandarin, the film was a box office success, grossing over $1.2 billion worldwide, making it the second highest grossing film of 2013 and the 16th film to gross over $1 billion. It finished its theatrical run as the 5th highest grossing film of all time, while its opening weekend was the 6th highest of all time. The film received Best Visual Effects nominations at the Academy Awards and the BAFTA Awards.